What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight! Okay, we're coming back to Soundgarden. Yes, indeed, Soundgarden fans, feeling you! Come on now! Here we go. This is a request from Bodan Savas... What? Savas... T-A-E-V. T-I-E-I-E-V. Okay. Sure, why not? Wow. I look, I mean no disrespect, Bodan, but that last name is a mouthful. So, Bodan Savas T-A-E-V. Sure, we'll go with that. Why not? Bodan wanted to see me react to this song by Soundgarden called New Damage. Now, have I heard the song before? No, I have not heard the song before. To the best of my knowledge, it does not resonate with me in any way. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I go, oh, okay, I recognize this now, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This was posted by Soundgarden, okay? And the video has 81,299 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Soundgarden, right up here. New Damage, remastered. Cool. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Look, I try to be stoic. I try to hide. I do try to hide when I'm really enjoying something because I don't want to give it away. But I'm sorry. I can't do that here. I am enjoying the heck out of this. I am. And I'll tell you why. Right off the gun, I love the 9/8 in the verse transitioning smoothly, I mean smoothly, to 4/4 for the chorus. I was like, okay, we're in that 9/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then when it goes to the chorus, I was thinking to myself, what are they going to do? They're not going to, I thought to myself, there's no way they're going to stay in 9/8 for the chorus. They're going to jump to something else. I don't know what, but they're going to change. And I felt that straight ahead feel. I'm like, maybe they're going to go to 4/4. And they did. They did. And I loved that transition. And they did it so effortlessly and so smoothly. That was really, really nice. I absolutely dig that. Let's keep going for right now. I have a lot more I want to say, but I'm going to save it for right now. Let's keep going, and we'll get back to those points later, I promise. I think they transitioned to 6/8 there. Let me double check that. Yeah, they did. Okay, so coming out of the chorus, they went into this bridge, I guess for lack of a better word, that was a bridge, where they went into a 6/8, and that was really nicely done. I had to go back and listen just to be sure, but yeah, it is 6/8. That chromatic line in the guitar and the bass in the verses going down, 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 da 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 do do. It great resolution. I like how they resolved it each time, and I know it gets a little repetitive. I know it does, but it's almost necessary to be repetitive right there. It almost is, because you establish this feel. You establish this pattern, right? Now, you could break the pattern, and you could do something different. It would be fine. As long as it made sense, it would make fine. But let me ask you this. Wouldn't it be more comfortable to just keep the pattern going? I think it would be more comfortable, and it would be more pleasing to the ears just to keep that same pattern going. It's cool. It definitely fits. Fits the feel of the song, that pattern going down with the chromatic notes. Really nice. Really nicely done. Just semitones all the way down to where you get to that junction where it goes back up, but then it skips down to the next and the next, and that's really nice. I know I haven't talked at all about Chris Cornell's vocals. There's a reason for that. There's a reason for it. I'm still not going to talk about them. I'm going to hold off. You just wait. You wait. Let's keep going for right now. Some great drumming right there. Coming out of the guitar solo, back into a chorus. Not a chorus, a verse. My apologies. Coming out of the guitar solo into a verse. I believe that is Matt Cameron on drums. That's what I've been told. So I'm going to go with that. I've always admired Matt Cameron's ability to fill in a way to build while resolving. What I mean by that is he can play these fills that resolve the previous phrase and at the same time build up the next phrase. It's such a fine line to walk where you can do that effectively. Most drummers can't. Most drummers will either resolve the previous phrase or they'll build up the next phrase. But every once in a while, you'll find a drummer who's very good at doing both with a single fill. And it's not easy to do. It's very touch and go. It's very much an issue of trial and error, seeing what works, seeing what's going to fit, and what's going to accomplish both goals. Because the same fill is not always going to work. You have to mix it up. And we heard a great variety of fills within that whole section. So that was really nicely done. I'm still not going to talk about Chris Cornell's vocals. I'm not. Not yet. I'm going to make you wait. Trust me, I have a lot to say about them. I do. But I'm not going to say them yet. Let's finish this out, and then we'll get to the review, and then I'll tell you all about what I think about Chris Cornell's vocals on this. I promise. I promise. Okay. Now I can talk about the vocals all I want. And I will. I will talk about them in the review. I'll see you there. Well, there you go, folks. That was Soundgarden with New Damage. This was a request from Botan Savastiev. I hope I pronounced that right, man. I really do. I don't want to be disrespectful and mispronounce names. I hate it when I do that, so I really hope that's correct. On a scale of 1 to 10, I think Soundgarden fans are going to be pretty happy with this. I'm going to give that an 8.9. Yep, 8.9. I feel great about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
I know it was waiting for me to say what I'm going to say about Chris Cornell's vocals. I promise you I will. Not yet. I'm going to make you wait. Let's start with the songwriting on this. First of all, utilizing 9/8 as the basis for the song. Now, that does not mean that's what the whole song is in, but for the basis of the song, it's the primary time signature for the song. I dug it. It felt so good. It didn't feel awkward at all. It didn't. That extra beat that 9 did not feel weird whatsoever. It felt very natural, and that's primarily due to two things. One, the drum pattern that Matt Cameron was playing. Number 2, the chromatic line, that descending chromatic line, the way that they added that hook in there. Dow, 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 da da da, dow, dow. The way they added that da da da, that hook in there, that loop around, that was really cool. I think that's one of the main reasons why the 9 didn't feel so awkward. They pulled it off nicely. And then when they would transition to the 4/4 for the chorus, they did smoothly, seamlessly. It did not feel awkward at all. It felt perfectly natural. When they went to the 6/8, that did throw me off a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I had to go back and re-listen and make sure that I heard what I thought I heard. I thought I heard 6/8, but I wasn't 100% sure. Upon listening to it again, yeah, it was 6/8. Some great use of time signature in this song, which I'm always a big fan of. I'm always a big fan of that, as long as it's not overly used. There are a lot of artists, there are a lot of bands, especially in the prog rock world, who overuse time signature changes, and that upsets me, because when you do that, you're not giving yourself a chance to really get into any kind of a groove, because you're constantly changing. You know, the way that Soundgarden did it, changing it on the verse, the chorus, the bridge, verse, chorus, you know, doing it like that, where you had the entire section dedicated to one time signature, that's fine. I got no issue with that. It sounded just fine to me. I was able to get into the groove. Speaking of the groove, let's talk about the drumming on this. Drumming was solid, rock solid. Way to keep the feel of the song going. Adding to keeping that 9/8 smooth. More importantly, though, and where I really want to give Matt Cameron a big shout out at it, I already talked about it, so I'm going to talk about it briefly here. The way that he was able to transition from phrase to phrase, coming out of that guitar solo, when it went back into a verse, and he was setting up the next line, the next phrase, while at the same time resolving the current phrase. Not easy to do. I mean, like I said, a lot of drummers, pretty much any drummer can fill, right? But not every drummer can do both. I mean, there are drummers who can set up the next phrase with their fills and do a great job of it. There are drummers who can resolve the current phrase and they do a great job of it. But there are very few drummers who can do both, who can resolve and bring a close to the current phrase while at the same time building up an anticipation for the next phrase with the fill. Not easy to do, and he did a great job of that, so I gotta give him a special shout out for that. The bass in this sounded pretty good. Nothing all that fancy, nothing all that crazy, just really kind of holding down the bottom end like a good bass player should, filling out the sound and making it sound really full and really deep and really dark, and I dug that. I absolutely dug it. The guitar player, I believe his name is Kim, if I remember right from the comments. I was really impressed with his playing on this. I really was. In particular, there were two spots in particular. The guitar solo. I'm not usually a big fan of using delay and wah at the same time with distortion and getting that whole thing. I'm not usually a big fan of that. But in the context of this song, not only do I think it was appropriate, I think it was extremely fitting. It was very tastefully done. Not overly done. And I think that's why I liked it. He got up there. Don't get me wrong. He did. He was feathering and feathering and feathering and feathering with the with his picking while using the wah against the delay, and he did do it. He did it a lot, but he didn't do it so much, and it goes so far with it that it became too hard to listen to. He did it just enough to get your attention and raise some eyebrows, which you gotta know the limits of of your guitar. You gotta know the limits of your tone. You gotta know the limits of how far to push that envelope on the wah pedal to get just enough of a squeal to make it work. You know what I mean? And he did. He did it very tastefully. And not only in the solo section, he did it at the end of the song too, coming out of the song, fading the song out. He did it there as well, and it sounded really good in both spots. A very hard line to walk for me, for my taste. And in this case, and because he's done it before and it's been a turnoff, because I felt like he went a little too far with it. In this case, he didn't go too far. It sounded outstanding. I loved it. I wouldn't change a thing. Now, if he had gone any further, we might be having a different conversation. But he didn't. He got right up there. He didn't even get him up to the edge. He stayed a pretty safe distance from the edge. And I think that's part of the reason why I'm having such a good time with it. No, his guitar playing in this, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. He made that guitar squeal. That was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. The moment everybody's been waiting for. Chris Cornell's vocals. I won't go as far as to say it's some of the best vocal work I've heard him sing. I won't say that. What I will say is this was some of the strongest and most powerful vocal work I've heard him do. Some amazing projection. Just, I don't use this word often, and it's going to sound weird hearing me say this word to describe Chris Cornell's vocals. Thunderous. And I know people are going, what? Hear me out. The reason I'm saying the vocals were thunderous in this is when he would hit those high sustained notes. A lot of people will say screeching. A lot of people will say squealing. A lot of people will say that high pitch, resonating tone. Now, don't get me wrong, it was there, but I would not use screeching. I would not use squealing because it wasn't unpleasant. It was thunderous. It was massive. It was gigantic, but it was not unpleasant in any way. It was pure power, like a thunderbolt. That's the best way I can describe it. It was fantastic when he would get up to those notes and sustain. I'm talking about in the verses, where he would really push and you could hear it. It was fantastic. And then when he went into the choruses, surprisingly, he was still up there, it was still strong, but he brought it down just a little bit. And you would think it would be the other way around. You would think you would want the verses to be a little bit softer so you could have extra power for the choruses. Well, the problem is all the power was in the verses, instrumentally. So it makes sense to have all that extra power from the vocals in the verses. It makes sense, as opposed to having the power in the chorus where the instrumentals have kind of come down a little bit. That would not make sense at all. So the way that he did it, the way that he structured his vocal attack, the way that he structured his vocal projection and power in strategically placing it louder here, a little bit softer here in the chorus, that made perfect sense. It absolutely was fantastic. I loved it. I loved it. You know what? I loved it so much. I loved everything about that song, honestly. There wasn't anything about that song I didn't like. And it so impressed me. I'm going to change my score.
You what?
I'm going to change my score right now.
Are you insane?
Let me figure it out.
Yeah, boy.
No, it's too high. Too high. There we go. I like it. I like it. Okay, it didn't come up a lot, but it went up into the 9s. So, my final score, after convincing myself, after talking myself into it, final score, I'm going to give that, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to give it a 9.0. Yep, 9.0. That's it. I feel great about that score. We're going to leave it there.
Why?
I already told you why. I'm not going to tell you why again. We're just going to leave it at the 9.0, and that's the end of it. Okay, so 9.0, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully, I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you did enjoy the show and you would like to see more videos like this, feel free to join the fan base by clicking on that button down there. Yeah, you know the button I'm talking about. Click on that button, join the fan base, and become one of us. Now, for whatever reason, if you don't feel like clicking on that button, that's okay. I still respect you. Also, if you did enjoy the video, please feel free to give the video a thumbs up. It'll do me a world of good, and it will do you absolutely no harm whatsoever. Finally, if you guys do join the fan base, you will find a bell down there that you can click on. By clicking on that bell, it'll keep you up to date on everything happening with this channel, including when new content gets dropped. So, if you want to stay in the know, click on the bell, and you'll stay in the know. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Until next time, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.